like. No, that's fine. Thank you very much for giving up your time again to come in. I appreciate that people are working and, you know, all sorts of commitments. So Mrs. Franklin is kindly filming and recording, so maybe don't turn around if you don't want to. So really, myself and Mrs. Smith, who is our fantastic senior tier reception, if you don't already know who she is also our Read Write Ink leader. So it's quite exciting that we're both in reception really, because they get the best. I'm just putting it out there. So really the purpose of today is, rather than doing it in September when they've already started and they're coming home saying things and you're going, oh, we thought we'd do it now, demonstrate to you. There's a website and we've got some handouts for you to take home, and the books that we've left out are typical books for the Read Write Ink lesson. The green and purple is where they are supposed to be by the end of reception, ideally. We've also got examples of, some children might be, the starting colour is red, some might be there ready by Christmas. If not, probably be after Christmas, but it really is not a race by any means, but it's just for you to get an idea of how the lesson goes. And Mrs. Smith will talk us through a lesson in a minute, how we use these books. But once you get home, don't have the teaching bits in, they have the story questions, so they look slightly different. But they'll all have exactly the same sounds the children are learning in the week, so they will be able to be successful. And that's what Read Write Ink is all about, it's about them being successful in their reading. So I'm going to put a couple of videos, a pair of ones. You can access these on YouTube, so if you don't, you can look at it again at home. It's via the Ruth Miskin portal. So Ruth Miskin is Read Write Ink Guru lady who's set it all up, and yes, so here's a little bit about what it is all about.
This film will help you understand how Read Write Ink Phonics helps your child learn to read quickly and easily. The new national curriculum ensures that all children are taught phonics systematically, which is just what we do. First, we teach children just one way of reading and spelling the English sounds. We give children a hook to learn the sounds by using pictures in the same shape as the letter. S looks like a snake. A looks like an apple. D looks like a dinosaur. And looks like two mountains. This means that children learn to read and write the sounds really easily. Children then read books that are carefully matched to the spellings of the sounds they have been taught. So if they know these sounds, they can read these books. If they know these sounds, they can read these books. When children can read these stories confidently, we teach them more ways to read the same sounds. As they learn more spellings of the sounds, the books they read contain more spellings. The children do not read books that include the spellings of the sounds that they do not know. This means they build confidence quickly. We never ask children to guess words from pictures. We do, however, read lots of stories to children which contain all the spellings in the English language. Soon they'll be able to read these stories for themselves. Children love reading because we've made it easy for them. In your child's school, all the children are taught with others who are learning the same sounds. They practice reading our storybooks until they can read them fluently, and then they take the same story home to read to you. They learn to form letters correctly and develop a strong handwriting style. They learn to spell many words correctly and have a go at spelling longer words. Children love writing because we've made it easy for them. Your child's school ensures that children learn to read and write successfully. There are lots of ways you can help at home too. Reading great stories aloud is the best thing you can do. We have films that will give you ideas on how to make story time with your child lively and engaging. You can watch our tutorials to find out how to make phonics lots of fun. These are on the parent section of the Ruth Miskin Training website. Join our Facebook page. This will keep you updated with tips and ideas for reading with your child at home.
the website will be on the handout you've given you if you don't manage to get it down. So there's one more short clip I want to show you, and it is, oh hello, where's she gone? It is a child teaching you how to say the sound, because I don't know, even before Read Write Ink, I don't know, naively I always thought it was m, n, d, but it's not. Read Write Ink Phonics is the purest sound that a single letter can make. So I'm just going to, before our amazing shining stars do their performance, I am just going to show you this short.
When teaching your child the speed sounds, it's very important that you don't add an onto the end of consonant sounds. Say not m, f not f, and not l. This takes some practice, but if your child learns to pronounce the sounds as pure sounds, they will find it easier later to put the sounds together to make a word. For example, it is easier to put the sounds at together than at. As you start to teach your child the first group of sounds on the flashcards, you will notice that each sound is either stretchy or bouncy. 5-year-old Sylvie will now show you how to say the sounds.
These are the set one sounds. These are the stretchy sounds. These are the bouncy sounds. B, k, k, d, g, h, j, p, qu, ch, w, x, y, ch, a, e, o, a. These are the set two sounds. These are the long vowels. A, E, I, O, U, R, O, ow, oi. These are the last set three sounds to learn. Aya, ear, yaw.
So that's just a quick run through of how your children will come home pronouncing the sounds. But don't worry if you get it wrong, we've got a handout with everything explained on there and we'll go through it together with you, or access this and have a little practice at home yourself. But I think now we need to show you exactly what a Read Write Ink lesson looks like, and she did say on there that your child will be working in a group where all the other children are at the same level. So there won't be any feeling of, well, I can't do it, that person can. We're all learning the same sounds in certain groups. But it doesn't matter if they're on a blue book or a red book, the format of the lessons are exactly the same, so the children learn the pattern of the lessons, which helps as well. So
we've got two stars here that have kindly said they're coming to help Mrs. Smith Johnson today. I'm going to just basically show you a snippet of a lesson, because obviously we work up to about 30 to 40 minutes during the summer term. So girls, are you ready to show some of the parents how we do this? Come and sit here. You sit there, girls. What I'm going to do, we've got Cecily and Imogen, we're just going to flip through the sounds that they already know, and then I'm just going to talk about special friends and then how they would read those special friends within words. Are you ready, girls? You okay with this? Yeah? On a kneel down. Let's show the parents how busy you are. Are you ready together? Together. So what we do is we teach a sound a day, and as the time comes on, we sort of make sure that it becomes quite speedy when they read it. Once they've learned all of the set one sounds, we now teach the special friend. So a special friend would be a card that looked like this. So we say it has 2 letters, 1 sound. So I'll hold it up for you. So this would be the unk sound. So the girls are just going to quickly show you how they would pronounce these special friends. Are you ready, girls? Should we do it really loud so Mr. Spracky can hear at the back? Are you ready? Together go. Brilliant. Amazing. Excellent. So what you would do is you would teach maybe the special friend unk. Once you've taught that to the class or your group of children, you would then show them the green words that have the unk sound in them. Now what we do when we teach read, write, ink is they have to spot the special friend first. So when you're looking at this particular green word, you would say unk, Fred talk, work, ik, wink, so that they understand that they have to spot it and then Fred talk it. So shall we have a go? If you do the spot the special friend, Fred talk, say the word, you can do Fred in your head. How about that? Are you ready for this? Right, so big voice, spot the special friend. Fred talk. Brilliant, you start. Oh, 2 special friends in here. So sometimes you might see a word like this that has the and the ink. Can you spot both special friends? Amazing. Fred talk. Good girl. And there's one more special friend. And that's got me. So that was the first part. The second part that we introduced is something called Fred in your head. So it's just building up those reading skills. What I would do is I would hold the word up like this as if it's in my head. I'll give Cecily a chance to read it in her head. You then push it forward and then just say the word. So you ready for this, Cecily? You geared up for this? Goodbye. Okay. Give you time. So you literally just hold it. Amazing. Next one. Ready for this challenge? Are you sure? Brilliant, Cecily. And wait for it. This one's got 4 sounds in it. Do you think you can do it? Amazing. And the very last thing that we introduced are nonsense words. Basically, they're not real words, but this builds them up when they take the phonics screening, where when they go into year 1, they come across words that aren't real. So we would introduce that quite early into reception so that they're prepared for that. Again, you would say, where is the special friend? Can you see the special friend there? And then we'd say, what a load of old... so that they know they're not real words. Now, the girls have worked really hard. The next thing we do, if they were reading this level together, we would have one being the teacher, so they would hold the stick, and they would point to the words, and then the other would read, and then they swap over. So it's about them taking ownership of their book, basically working together. Do you think you could do 1 page each for these lovely parents? Right, are we ready? So, I think if you point and you get your lovely friend to read, we've got to make sure you're side by side, go girls.
You had a cat, said Stitch, the witch.
Amazing. Then they would swap over. So then Imogen becomes the teacher, and she points, and Cecily could read this page. Go on, Cecily. Oh, amazing. So that's the reading part. We do add in the writing as well, but we predominantly work on their phonics. So whichever sound that they might be doing for that day, we then do something called the spellings, which is where they would do words associated with the new sound that they've done, and then we get the children to tick or fix. But this is right down the end of the line. We build up to this. So girls, would you like to walk around with your books just to show the parents? Would that be nice? There's yours, Cecily. If you make sure you show them the beautiful writing. There we are. And you can show. Come on then, let's go this way. Shall we show
Go
them?
this way, Cecily, and then you can see. This is where you were in September, isn't it? And this is where you were.
Have a little look round.
Anna moves up. This is where you were when you came in. How old are you now? There we are.
We do this
Still
side.
4.
There we are.
So you're not 5 yet. So when you were doing that, you were pushing just 4. And now look.
Do you want to make sure you ventilate it back for me? Are you okay? And then
You
let's
actually
have a second.
Keep going. Everyone, all your ways writing. Now it's
Come show us the sparkling.
You're a superstar. High five. Well done.
Do you want to go to the plate on the back here to show
we
you
do
the
it in shapes of the
writing?
phone, chalks outside, all sorts of different ways.
And this
Should
one
we
here.
go to the back? Or should we go round this side?
We go round this
No, we've got to do a whole group show, haven't we? Cecily's so proud. That's where you started. Come on, then, should we have a look? Should we show these people over here? Look, he's super proud.
Cecily.
Show Mr. Sprackling. Look at that.
High five.
I mean, honestly, it's just like blokes like year 2 writing. I know, and we started here, just learning to form the letters. Yeah, but they're all different, so they all are at different points.
Yeah, rewriting is basically
Some aren't
about
ready
stage.
to hold the pencil when they come
That's
in.
where they're at
Testing
for that
points. So
stage.
that's where she's
Sometimes
at.
some of the
That's where she's at now. Just for the daily, doing this every day in the lesson. That's not what you do at home, is
No
it?
one really, to be honest, they're not aware of where they're at. All they know is they go into the colour green, and that's the colour green.
That's where we started, isn't it?
I think. Well, you did amazing, but I will make sure that when they start in September, I'll send this home with parents and how we form the letters as well on the back. So there is a rhyme which I will photocopy, so you'll get that when you start in September, so that you're aware of the sounds, how you say it, how you write it. And half-termly, the children get assessed, and then you will get one of these sent home, which will be highlighted to just show you where they're at and how they progress through the year that they're in reception. You can then look and think, well, actually, I could do a little bit of help there, and it's quite good support for them at home, actually. But, girls, I just want to say, amazing. Edith, there's one more. Are you coming, girls? Let's go.
You go and find Edith and maybe find some stickers, and Mr. Sprackling will have something for you.
How many more?
So, that's what goes on in class. And they keep the book, the home book, for a week. Although there's might not be much in it to start with, that doesn't matter. And that was when I was talking about before, how you kind of have to look really excited every time it comes out. Because by the end of the week, they'll be reading it, hopefully, fluently, and they're just successful because everything in there is what they would know from the lessons, so there's nothing to stumble over. And that, they get quite scared about it. Hey, dear. So, if you can do a little bit of that every day, that's great. But just importantly, read stories and read stories to them. You know, you don't have to wait till they're in year 3 to read a chapter book. You get going if they're ready. A bit of the twits, all of the twits and things like that. Now Edith, wow. Honestly, this girl, well, what colour were you on when you started in reception? Can you remember? She's orange. Red. You were red when you started, which is the very first colour. And it goes red, green, purple, pink, orange, yellow, blue, grey, finished. Well, Edith, what colour are you on now?
Blue.
She's on blue! And I started teaching your lesson, haven't I? Honestly, I was like, Edith. So are you going to read a little bit for us, just to show? And do you practice reading every day? And you're at home? You do, don't you? You don't follow the order. You told me. You told me, yeah, when you're in bed. You told me. Okay. Well, you're going to read big voice like you did in class every day.
I would make them a dirty puddle that would need to three tunnels. Then find channels corresponding with water jump at the bottom of a fir tree. He hops up to it and looks in. Look, Crow said to Hummingbird, there's water in this jug, but my billy is too short and thick to get at it.
Oh, let's see.
The sound, so as you can see, it's, oh no, that's the home one. Oh, I've got a teaching one. Never mind. Well, inside the teaching one, there will be a lot more sounds, wouldn't there, Edith? It's way more than that. You're going up to set 3. And lots and lots of red words when you're doing it. But you can see the jump. But are you just ready for it? She's in reception, but she's going into year 1 for her lessons, as we've got about 5 or 6 other children who go into a year 1 group to do it. So wherever they're at, whenever they're ready,
They're all
they're holding back. Absolutely. And you're just going to do this time, won't you?
You look later.
And we did talk about maybe in year 1, because you've got to that point, you'll still carry on, but you might start on our AR reading scheme, which they'll get to eventually in year 1. But Edith's ready for it now. So, fantastic. Would you like to go? Because I think they're doing very well.
And just to mention that Fred Frog is in every single session that we do. They absolutely love him because he only speaks in sound. So the children just adore Fred. We've got Fred and Frida, the twins, as well at the moment, haven't we? So we have all sorts
It's
going
because
on.
they suddenly realised when they're in different groups that Fred's Fred in every group, so we have to make up names and stories about them, which is great fun. We love Fred. Now, are there any questions about phonics before we completely flip to maths? Yes. Yeah.
They get some in a book that they read every night.
Yeah.
What happens if they learn that book off by heart?
We wouldn't say to correct them, we would just say, so if it's like the start of the week when they've only just got the book, you would encourage, just as Mrs. Smith was saying, it would be special friends. Now it's friend talk, and you can do it together, so rather than correct it, if they're a little bit stumbly, so you can go from bad and model blending it. And yes, by the end of the week, there is that certain amount, but actually it's sort of fluency and confidence as well. And you'll find that as they work through the green level, every week the book, it doesn't go up in difficulty.
No, they're the same stage, so they have 1 to 10 books in the green level. They're all the same stage as you go through. But as time goes on, you will see if they're actually reading for fluency or memory. But I wouldn't worry too much about that. Not at the very early stages, definitely not, I would say. Because they will do that. That's just instinctive to read from memory sometimes.
But then they feel this, and then sort of by week 3, when they're realising that they can use their sounds and they're doing it more often, it becomes, the fluency comes. But we're really looking at really good fluency towards sort of spring term, summer term. So if they're already there in autumn, fantastic. If not, it doesn't matter.